what the wigs you wore during Halloween were made out of? Well, I'm going to tell you the 3 strange and unusual uses for horsehair. Just a brief history about horses. Horses were used by the Spanish to conquer the world. They brought them over from Spain to the Americas so that way they could conquer Mexico, South America, and North America. The Native Americans also used them for hunting, but as they learned to tame them, their hunting ranges expanded, and so did warfare. Not only did we use them for transportation, but we use them for the raw materials, and we use them to make things such as wigs, stitches, and to make instrumental bows. I'm going to be starting with wigs. We mainly made wigs out of horsehair during the 18th century when judges wore them with their everyday use when they were in court, and they had them short ones like barristers, like the ones you see George Washington wearing on the $1 bill. But for ceremonial occasions, senior barristers and judges also wore long ones that are called full-bottom wigs, like Louis XIV wore. They also powdered their wigs with scents and colors. The scents they used were orris root, orange flower, and lavender. But when they colored them, they usually used pink, yellow, blue, or violet. But you usually see the off-white color since it tends to be the most common and most elegant color of all of them. As we leave the 18th century, we enter the 19th century where we started to use them as stitches during the Civil War. We started using them as stitches when the South ran out of medical supplies due to the fact of being cut off. We started using them because that horsehair was the closest thing they had to the stitching material they used then. They boiled it to make it more flexible and easier to go through skin, and unknowingly made it sterile. Surgical suture, which is a type of stitching technique used by doctors then, was shown to heal better and cleaner than normal stitching techniques even used today. We use a hook-shaped needle instead of a pointed one as we use for sewing since it was easier to go through skin. Now, not only is horsehair used for medical purposes, but for entertainment purposes. We use hair to put together instrumental bows for things such as violins, violas, cellos, and basses. The hair is coated in a powder called rosin, which is also known as amber. If you touch it with your bare hands, you're practically ruining the bow hair, and you'll have to have it replaced. It's the same concept as touching a goldfish with your bare hands. You'll practically kill it. I had my first violin when I was 4. I had to have my bow replaced 5 times because I kept on touching it with my little tiny fingers. Other cultures also use horsehair for their instruments, but they use only one hair instead of a whole group of hair, unlike the violins and orchestral bows. And so, if you only think that we only use horsehair for things such as branching, breaking, and well, eating, I guess. Well, then you're wrong. You've only scratched the surface. We use horsehair for 3 distinct purposes also, and unusual ones. They're to make wigs, for bows, and for stitches. So I hope you've all learned